Hi everyone, in this video I'm just going to talk about some of the important things from Unit 2.2 and give you some examples. So the important thing about this unit was talking about unit rates. We've talked about rates in other contexts throughout the semester so far. We've talked about it when we looked at water footprint. We talked about it when we looked at population density. So a unit rate is just a rate where the denominator is equal to 1. So some examples are, let's say, the cost of gas. When you purchase gas, it's usually given by the gallon. So when you see $2.09 per gallon, that means for 1 gallon of gas. So that's a unit rate. When you go shopping, a lot of the items in the store will either be sold by unit rate, or you can read the unit rate on the price tag on the shelf. Produce is a great example. So for example, a lot of produce is priced per pound. So let's say you are purchasing strawberries and they're $3.99 per pound. So that's a unit rate because it's for 1 pound. We've seen population density. So if you have population density of a given city as 4,105 people per square mile is a unit rate because it's for 1 square mile. Now, any rate can be turned into a unit rate. So even if you don't have the rate already as a unit rate, you can do so by dividing the numerator by the denominator. That will make the denominator 1. So for example, here for number 1, Katie buys 2 boxes of cereal. One box weighs 22 ounces and costs $3.49. The other box weighs 13 ounces and costs $2.99. We want to know which size box is a better value. Well, in order for us to determine this, we want to know how much each box is costing per ounce. So we could take each of these boxes and write them as a rate. Since I'm talking about value, I want to write the rate so that the the unit for money, is in the numerator. So for the first box, it was $3.49 for 22 ounces. So I'm just writing that in fraction form. I'm leaving the units. The units are really important because the units describe the quantity. But if I wanted to get the unit rate, I'm just going to divide 3.49 by 22 and just leave my unit. So when I divide, I get about 16 cents per ounce. And I could write it, instead of writing it in fraction form, I could write it in this form as well. So per means 1. 16 cents for 1 ounce of cereal. For the second size box, it was $2.99 for 13 ounces. So if you buy that box, divide the cost, $2.99, by 13, you're paying about 23 cents per ounce of cereal. So to buy the smaller box, you're actually paying more money per ounce of cereal than if you buy the larger box. So the, not 22 ounce, the 13 ounce size, the 13 ounce box is a better value since it costs, oh no, that was right. The 22 ounce box is a better value since it costs less per ounce of cereal. So this was the cheaper one. The 13 ounce, the smaller box, costs more. Here's another example. Jordan is having a party and needs to purchase a hero for 24 people. The deli recommends that he purchase a 6-foot hero. Write a unit rate describing this information. Well, we actually have 2 unit rates that we can write here, depending on which way we want to compare. So one unit rate is comparing the people to the length of the hero, the size of the hero. So 24 people for a 6-foot hero. We could write that as a unit rate by dividing 24 by 6. Remember, I'm keeping the units. The units here are in the same order that they are in the fraction. The first unit is the unit that's on top. So that means 4 people per foot. So this would mean that if we had 1 foot of hero, that should be enough for 4 people. So 4 people for every foot of hero. We could write this unit in another way by putting the length of the hero on top, 6 feet for 24 people. If I want to write the unit rate, I would divide again 6 divided by 24, so the order of my division is changing. In fraction form, that's 1/4. So that means that a quarter of a foot would feed 1 person. So it's just a matter of how do you want to describe the information. The relationship between the number of people and the amount of food is still the same. It's just how do you want to describe it? In the first way, it describes how many people could be fed with 1 foot of hero. And then in the second unit rate, it describes the size of a hero that one person is consuming. All right, so some of the main mathematical ideas is from this unit are how to compare and contrast ratios with a proportion. Not using population densities, we actually used prices as an example. So using product prices as an example. So again, units are very important when you're writing rates. So just writing the 4 or the 1/4 really has no meaning. I have to give the units with it, and the units have to be in the correct order. So that's really important. So for this 1/4, for that situation, the units have to be foot per person or 1/4 of a foot per person. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.